Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Combat Sports UK. As you can see, I'm joined by a very, very special guest today, one of the owners of the biggest MMA promotion in Europe, Pavol Neruda of OKTAGON. Pavol, how are you doing? Happy New Year to you.
Oh, Happy New Year and hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you for inviting me here. Yeah, I'm good.
No, you're very welcome. It's really our honor to have you. We've been lucky enough to be at quite a few of your events last year, both in Germany and in the UK. I mean, it feels like last week that I saw you in Cologne and I was congratulating you on selling out that stadium.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. It really was amazing. I mean, where I'd like to start is kind of with your background. I mean, how do you find yourself in this whirlwind with kind of this little baby that you have in OKTAGON?
Oh, yeah. It was maybe now 10, 12 years back 2004, I remember my first MMA event that I was watching, and I totally fell in love in the sport, which I knew before from the magazines and this, etc. But then a certain time, I used to work with the guys who was the first generation of MMA fighters. I was studying university, and during this time, I was also working as a part-time job as a bouncer. And, my colleagues around me was the first generation of MMA fighters, and I become so curious. We talk about the sport a lot, and I just get super passionate. And and I see like, oh my God, these guys are so normal, like nice people like anyone else, just doing this crazy sport. Like, how come? And I become very curious. So I got deep in more and more inside. Meanwhile, I was doing photography, videography, and I started helping these guys because they were like without any proper management or any proper like promotion or something. So I started to film them, make the photograph. I made the first MMA management in Slovakia. I started with my friend the first MMA amateur league in Slovakia, so they have a platform where they can start in their careers and so on. And it went like this step by step, and I was falling deeper and deeper in the sport. But meanwhile, my creative soul and my storytelling was developing as well, because I understand that if I want other people see what I see, like how amazing athletes these fighters are, and they're worth to be followed and to be watched by many. How come this is not happening? And they deserve big sponsorships, and none of this was happening at that time. So I started filming documentaries about them, and it was successful for documentaries. I wrote a book about Attila Vek, the first Slovak who became a Bellator champion in 2013. I wrote a book about him and so on. And I feel this is not enough. So I need to put it in TV. And if it's supposed to be in TV, you need a show. So I come up with the idea of a reality TV show, OKTAGON Challenge, at the end. And I filmed a few demos, bring it to TVs. I connected with my partner, Ondřej, who was also, I would say, very similar persona in Czechia. I was promoting the sport and trying to, for the same as I was trying to make it big, to bring it to public, to wider public. And it clicks, and we become partners and bring the show to biggest TVs. And since then, 2016, it was a crazy ride, and we are still just at the beginning, I feel.
Yeah, a kind of crazy ride. It's kind of like that roller coaster that's just forever. It's just on a trajectory, especially 2023. I mean, you touched on kind of your partner in crime there, Ondřej Novotný. I mean, talk us through your relationship, and you guys seem like such a great double act. Especially, you see the way you manage kind of events and stuff. You have Ondřej jumping in the cage, and then yourself also doing a lot kind of with the fighters, getting in there with the belts and things like that. Talk about your guys' relationship and how you've developed this kind of really cool double act that you've got.
Oh yeah, like we are. I would say we are very good like partners, and it's not very common in business, in sport maybe as well, and sport business. I mean, and yeah, we are so different as a personalities, but with the same vision and same values. I mean, I believe that we have very similar values in life. We believe in similar things, and we see the sport and the OKTAGON in very same way in future.
Hmm.
That's why even if we are different, but we still, and we have another thing in common, that we are both like TV guys. Like I was producing the documentaries, he was commentating in TV and producing TV content as well. So we see some things and we see it same way. Like we are filming reality show and only there's 50 people on set, but only we see that thing same way. Or we see the graphics and, like there's something unique. But I think it's a common vision and passion for the sport and when we want to get it. So this is like the thing that connects us as a glue. We are not putting ego in it. We're always trying to find a way how to make just things better. And I would say it's like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, like this duo. Like so yeah, I think it's like this, and it's working very well. Like Andre is amazing. Like how he can announcing fights. He's amazing matchmaker. Like we used to do the matchmaking together. Now it's mostly his, like 90% his thing, and he's amazing in that. Like I would say, after guys from UFC, I would say we have the best matchmaking, and we are really proud about it. And also it's the one thing it's important. We so much care about the fans and their way how they feel on tournaments, the way that we are watching to the TV, and how you are entertained. And that's the highest motivation for us. It's not the money. Yes, we like money. We want them to use for bigger growth, but this is the biggest thing for us. And that's why, for example, we never cheat in fights. I mean, in way like many other promoters, it's kind of, they do sometimes like, oh, this is my favorite fighter, so I will give him someone easy. So he will be winning because it's a hero of my fans, so let him win. We never do this. Even if we have big hero, we give him tough opponents. And even like other friends and people from business asking us, why you are doing this? Like you will destroy your cash cow, right? Like why you are doing that? Like you cannot like do this in the sport, because the fans, they will just, they will discover, they will figure it out. This was just cheap trick just to sell tickets. And you will lost their trust. So we are doing all the best to not lose the trust of our fans and be always fair and deliver great fights.
Yeah, and when you discuss that, and it's really, I'm kind of putting two and two together now, right? Where I hear you talk about your filmography and video background, and I'm looking and I'm seeing the production that you put on at events, and also the level when I'm watching it at home. The level of the promos that you put together for the fighters and the way you build up your fights. I mean, you've got obviously the voice of Brian Lacey as well, which is a tremendous kind of commentator towards what you do. How important and how much of a process is it to go through on the production and the quality side of what you do? Not just the fights, but everything around it that Octagon builds.
Oh, it's super important for us. Maybe that's why, that's a part of our success. But it's also, I would say, why our job is also difficult. Like it's because you push on quality so much. You want to create so much stuff to sell the thing, the event, your heroes, but you want to do it in the proper way. You want to deliver always the best possible quality in video production and in graphics, for example. Like I think we can be proud how our product looks, how our merchandise looks, the website, graphics, everything, because we care so much. And it's sometimes very exhausting to constantly, like with our graphic team, for example, back and forth sending graphics. No, it's still not good enough. This is wrong, and because we want this perfection. And same with videos. But we are very lucky that we have very good team, and we are happy. We are attracting good directors, art directors. So now it's a big team of passionate people we are together. Creating this kind of stuff. And if you look at an Octagon from outside, it looks like the sport promotion, but from inside, it's a big marketing and media house, just producing a great amount of content. And in the center of all of it is our fighters.
Yeah, and that's what, for me, in terms of the European promotions, has made you guys really stand out. You look at, obviously, the kind of big king of the market is the UFC, and you look at what they do. And I remember watching Octagon Challenge, the England versus Ireland series that you did last year. And I remember thinking, like, this is so much better than the recent TUFs have been. And is
Right.
that something you figured out quite early on, that you need to do something different, specifically to the European promoters? Kind of those are your main competition at the moment. Did you figure out quite quickly that that could be a pathway to success? Obviously, you mentioned that that's what you started with in terms of Octagon Challenge.
We somehow feel it like intuitively. This is our thing. Like this is what we are good in. And when we are entering some market, we always do it, trying to do it, these kind of shows and to create our own stars. Because sometimes when you are new in some environment, you need to ask others people there and hoping that they will do something in your favor. They will give you this big star, or they will open this door for you. I mean, it's everywhere like this. If we are going to new school, when we are young, when we are going to new work, and so on. And for us, it's like this new environment, and we want to we are super happy to show off. Okay, guys, we believe this is what we are doing great, and we want to show it to you. We want to be entertained with you. So we try to deliver the best, and that was the Octagon Challenge, a reality TV show. I was super happy with the history of England and Ireland, because it was so easy to meet these two, let's say, nations against each other in the show, and it worked very well. So we always try to do it this way. And recently, we did a research between the MMA fans on UK scene, and we discovered that probably the most name who was constantly repeating was George Staines from those people. Even for people who they said, no, I'm not an Octagon fan, but I know you guys. And yeah, who you know, who's the first name come to your mind? George Staines. Like, so you see, it works. Like it's crazy. We were really like surprised about this, or like happy that the show delivered what we wanted to. So now people know these guys. George Staines, he deserved it. He's a new hero for them, and we can. It's like you build this concrete, base before you build the house. So this is it, and now we are building the house.
Yeah, amazing. And then both you and Andre get to turn up. I think it was episode 2. Oh, by the way, we're pilots as well. We're just going to take you around in our planes. I was like, what's going on here? That was incredible, an incredible moment, and really good that you mentioned George Staines there. I want to talk about these breaking into new markets. You guys haven't. I wouldn't say you haven't country hopped like some promotions have done. I think it looks to like you've been very, very strategical about how you build Octagon. You've kind of, I live here in Germany, and I've been to now Frankfurt, Oberhausen, Cologne with you guys, and it's incredible. You're selling out these arenas, and well, Cologne was pretty much a stadium, wasn't it? Really, it was enormous. Yeah. And is it really from your side, you build the local stars as well, and you really try to nail down a market, and then you say, okay, now we go to the next one. You had your home markets of obviously Czech Republic and Slovakia, then Germany. Now you're looking to build into the UK. Is that kind of part of the strategical plan?
Yes, it's a totally strategically made decisions how we did it. First, Germany, because of the geographically it's close. We felt the market is ready. Actually, it's a fun fact about Octagon that before COVID, it was this close that our first expansion would be in Israel. But the COVID came, and we need to stop the activities that we already started there. That's like interesting fact. But Germany was the first one. Now, like you said, we are selling the biggest arenas. And the UK, of course, because UK is the market which is, I would say, great people who love the sport. They like to be entertained. They know the sport, and it's also the country that we can speak your language, so we can understand you. You can understand us if we are speaking proper English, and we somehow feel very good. We feel like home there. Like you go there, people are so nice. You want to work in this kind of environment, and it's also developed economic. It's also a country where if something going against you, like let's say someone is doing something bad, you can call police and they will help you, which is not totally happening in Eastern Europe. Not every country like that. So that's why we want to be in, because in the safe economical environment. And also, the MMA has a great history in UK. So we believe to, and it's 65 million people. It's crazy. Like it's totally, it's a key to the hearts of the fans around the Europe because it's English. People now speaks English. So we see it as a perfect match, and like that's something we what we want to do. And how you said, like the home is Czechoslovakia, then Germany and UK, but we are. I don't know why. Maybe because me and Andre were traveling a lot, and we are not that much like feel like okay, I'm only Czechoslovak, and you hold it like crazy. We feel like a citizen of the world, and so we are super happy to be at home, also in Germany, and we are giving them our love, and we receive it from the fans. And the same thing in UK, like really trying to build up that's why we call it Octagon UK Ireland, because we want to build up the good domestic promotion in UK and Ireland. That's our ultimate goal for next years and months in UK.
And it makes a lot of sense, and you can see the way you bring it out in your cards. You always bring a bit of talent from everywhere you have. I mean, if we go back to that Cologne card, we had Corey Fry on there, and I spoke to Corey on the weekend, and he was saying just how well you guys treated him and made him feel. Sometimes you might get it. Okay, they're putting me against the home fighter, a really popular fighter. I mean, he had his own stand, right? I remember walking around the stadium, and Ilbai had his own stand there, and there was no other fight with his own stand. But Corey, what he said to me was how at home he felt with you guys, and how he didn't feel like he was getting set up, like you alluded to earlier. And when you look at that strategical plan, how important are guys like Corey, like Akon Oneness, the undiscovered talent, George Staines, Jake McHugh, that the UK and Ireland have got that people haven't seen yet?
Oh yeah, it's very important. I'm happy to mention them because normally, like usually the German fans cheers for German, Czech for Czech, English for English, right? But then you have certain like unique people who are somehow universal, and they work no matter nationality or whatever you believe in. Like this will be your hero, and I think the Akon Onlys, for example, or George Staines, or Aaron AB, these guys, they have a potential to be loved and watched by whole Europe because of their super unique characters. They crazy talent in the sport, and somehow it's just like that. And for example, in Germany, there is Christian Jungwirth. This guy, like I'm sure if anyone from UK will see him fight, like, oh my God, like this guy, it's crazy. It came to me when he had a fight in Ostrava in Czechia, and the whole venue was cheering suddenly like Jungwirth. And I was thinking, oh my God, there's such crazy history still present in the air between Germans and Czechs. And now the whole venue is shouting the name of the German and pushing him forward. It's so beautiful. Like it's multinational, multi-language. Suddenly the sport is like that, right? It can connect people, nations, ideas. And yeah, and these guys, that's why they are so important for us and for the sport as well. Because imagine like how much they can, through their stories, George Staines, perfect example, how many new fans he can bring to the sport. New fans mean new sponsors, not just for us, but for the sport in general, for gyms, for other fighters, for other shows, and more people on trainings in the gyms. And it's like all connected. And I think that's why we all supposed to wish them rise and grow, because at the end, everyone will be happy, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it's funny you mentioned Jungwirth there as well. I mean, I've been privileged to go to the Nou Camp in Barcelona, to football stadiums in the UK and UFC events, and I have never seen anything like what I saw in Frankfurt, where Jungwirth fought. And it was only, I think it's a small arena there, 9,000, 10,000 people.
9,000, yeah.
And the noise, I videoed it and I sent it to the group chats with some of my MMA friends, and they were just like, what on earth is going on? Like it was insane. And that's not to mention what he did in Oberhausen, where he escaped the choke and everyone just went crazy.
Like stand-up ovation, right?
Yeah.
Even he was losing.
Exactly. And it must be moments like that for you as a promoter, as an owner, where you just pinch yourself and you say, what is going on? How has this happened? And you must just think, wow, like this is really amazing. To those moments for you, do you take them in, or are you just so locked into the next thing you've got to do production wise? Like, how are those moments for you?
Mostly, I'm like locked in something and be in the process. But these moments, like you said, you totally hit it. It's I try to stop and be present. Like, oh my God, like this is happening. Look at that. Like that's the biggest reward. Like this is why it's all worth of it. All the like sleepless nights and like a load of work and I don't know what else. These moments, it's like crazy. Yeah. And in Cologne, 20,000 people, Prague, 20,000. And yeah, it's really, it's amazing. And I'm always trying to like, just imagine how it must be for the fighter, for himself. That I'm to me, even now, I have a goosebump. If I think that I give my small part, I help with in this whole puzzle, that we helped him experience this. That thanks to us, now he can walk in front of 20,000 people and experiencing this crazy atmosphere in sport, which was 5 years back, like super unknown. Like nobody likes it. It was even prohibited in TV in Germany, for example. So this gives me like, oh my God, the best feelings. And I'm super happy for those fighters. That I even made a status on Instagram like a few days back. They're just thinking about this because there was one photo like Jon Surdo is entering the O2 Arena and there's this spotlight on him and you see the whole arena and him with the flag. And you start to think like, oh my God, like how it must be for him, right?
Yeah, true goosebump moments. And I know from speaking to a lot of fighters, they're all incredibly grateful for what.
And
what
this
you
is
guys
like all
do.
the mix, like that for them and then for us. Like we want to be there as fans to experience this, right? To be part of it. Full arena, and you are there and you see it, experience it, and I believe in UK we'll be witnessing this very soon.
Yeah, I totally agree. And obviously, you've been very gracious with your time. I've just got a couple more things. I mean, talking about the UK, we've got OKTAGON 52 coming up on the 27th of this month. So a couple of weeks out from now. How exciting is that card? I mean, the talent on that card that you've put on that card it's ridiculous. Like we mentioned, we've got Aaron Abbey on there, Jack Cartwright, my God, Corey Fry. I mean, the talent you've stacked that card with is unreal from top to bottom. What are you looking at that card right now? What are your thoughts about it a couple of weeks out?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. Like when you put the card together and you're just thinking, okay, this could be interesting. This, then it's all, and you suddenly don't know which you want to see more, like which fight, right? But definitely for me, the Magard Cartwright, there's a big beef between those two guys, and I really started questioning myself, like, okay, who is better than, like, really? I don't know, like I'm very curious. Like for one of them, it would be disaster to lose after all those things that were said. And for one, he will take everything from his opponent. I mean, for all the glory and fame, I don't know, like this would be crazy energy around this fight. I cannot wait. So this is definitely for me the highlight of the night. And then, yeah, Peñas Bonet, because Peñas is a big talent, huge prospect. He's very close to the title chance, especially if he will win this fight. But who knows Bonner and his fights? He knows it will be not easy, even for Peñas. He's great. He's super complex in stand up on the ground. So yeah, this fight will be very interesting. He can stop the big star from Czechia.
Yeah, and I mean you've also got Stuart Austin on there, Shoaib Youssef, so much talent. Dennis Frimpong also making his return on that card. There's some of the likes to talk. When you have
actually, I want to stop you one thing about this fight because it's so bizarre, kind of like I would never say we will put these two guys together, but Dennis Frimpong was asking so much for this fight, and he was so like he looked so believable, like he really mean it that he will. He can win over the Jan Cherokee. So we said, okay, this is crazy. The one Cherokee has 30 fights, you have 2. Like, what is this? Like, so even we call it like the biggest mismatch in the OKTAGON history, and this is the underlying name of this fight. and we will see how
Yeah.
this will go. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and Dennis likes to try and back up his words with his actions. He was incredibly entertaining on Octagon Challenge. When you have that, when you do have those fighters that push the bar and those rivalries, like we talked about with Magard and Cartwright, and also Dennis, does that give like an extra buzz for you and the fans? I mean, do you see it kind of on the back end of these ones where there is some bad blood, some beef, that it really does bolster up, so to speak, in the build up?
Oh yeah, it's sports entertainment, right? So you cannot remove the entertainment from sport. Otherwise, you will be alone somewhere in some hall doing doing it for no money, basically. So yeah, it's a part of the show, and who has it both? Like who is good entertainer, showman, and also fighter? That's the real winner, right? One of the biggest is Conor McGregor, of course. And actually, when I was talking with John Kavanagh, I have to give him credit for one sentence he said to us. That he said, "I'm telling to my fighters, like, if you are not willing to do this, the show, and these things around it, then just don't do it. Don't go to pro sports. That's part of this game. If you want to just sport, stay in amateurs. You can do it there and be happy." So I think it's very true. And that's very important for us. And this is how you can get. Otherwise, Denis Rimpo would never get this kind of fight. No chance he will be able to fight against Cherokee. But because he made himself so interesting, even if most people hate him, but they want to see him. They want to see him lose or win, whatever. They just want to see him. And he's very good in it. So that's how he deserved this fight.
Yeah, and he's got it. He's got it. I mean, Newcastle is going to be a hell of an event. There's loads of questions I could still continue to ask you. The last one I've got for you is just to give us your favorite Octagon memory so far and something you're most looking forward to in 2024.
Oh, the biggest memory. There's so many, but I would say one. It always comes to me when someone asks me this. There's so strong moment when we filmed the first series of Octagon Challenge. It was Czechia versus Slovakia, 2016. And it leads to the first tournament, Octagon 1. That was the finale of the show and first event we ever made. Prelims card was just before fighters from the market from Czechoslovakia. And the first guy on the main card was one of the participants of the show, Lukas Pajtina. He was on this main card as a first fight. Until then, the event was like usual, like different seating because we made some changes, beautiful lights, blah, blah. But atmosphere was kind of similar. And then he entered the arena and suddenly like, wow, everyone cheering like crazy. And you still feel the noise and excitement. And in this moment, we understand it worked. Like, here's the first guy from the villa, and look how they are crazy. So it clicked, it worked. It's similar like how now they respond that George Staines is, for example, for UK, people from UK, now the biggest star or someone who they recognize and who they want to fight. That moment was crazy because you put so much energy into something with the questionable results. And this moment, we knew it worked. And it was unbelievable, totally. And the moment that I'm looking forward the most for the next year,
2024, yeah,
2024. Oh, definitely. Oh, I am looking forward for we are doing a stadium and not in Prague, 27,000 people, and we believe we can sell it very, very fast, like in hours or maximum days. So fingers crossed. And then we have another huge event that the whole world will be watching, but I cannot tell more because
interesting. Okay.
Something which is like bomb in the world of the MMA. And we are super excited about it. And like maybe small thing which makes me super happy is that we have an event in Newcastle, and the players from the Newcastle United, they are coming. I text with them today, and especially with Martin Dubravka, the goalkeeper. And he said, "Oh, we are playing FA Cup in London, but it's at 3. So we will do everything to jump on plane and make it at least for the main card. So we will see the main card." So I hope they will make it and they will be there. It's beautiful, like thing to
That'd
have
be
them
really cool.
and host them.
That'll be really, really cool. And obviously, you know, from our side, thank you so much for obviously having Combat Sports UK at your events. We absolutely love it. You know, we're constantly talking about it in our group chats and things like that, and looking forward to the next event. So we're incredibly grateful to be part of this journey. Congratulations on the success you had, you know, with the MMA awards as well. You guys were nominated last year. And just for, you know, I mean, all you got to do is look at the smile on this guy's face and you just see how much MMA means to the people at Octagon, to yourself, Pavol. So we thank you so much, and we wish you all the continued success as we go into 2024. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Taylor.